Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this fast. I don't want to take all day, but I did a short about the secret to a long-lasting marriage. I'm gonna tell you the answer to it right now. It's the financial investment of women. So, the more women invest financially, the less likely they are to leave. It's a lot of data and stuff that's out there about this. But the reason why I brought it up is because I had three conversations yesterday. I said it in the short that I was in. I had breakfast with two black female officers, military officers, one major and one first lieutenant. The major was in the army. The first lieutenant is in the Air Force. Then I had lunch with some couple of guys I know. Then I had dinner with my wife. In all three situations, I had conversations about um, women not leaving, how to keep a woman from leaving in a marriage, and I beat them all. Like I had statistics because I analyze a lot of things. I do a lot of research. Not because I think something's gonna happen. I'm waiting up in a conversation. Just because I'm curious about random stuff, like whether it's medical, whether it's behavioral health, whether it's technology. I'm very like that kind of person. So I always got information when somebody throws something. I'd be like, oh, well, what about this? And so I do a lot of reading, a lot of different things. Anyway, that's to say. So I used the example in the short about Claire and Cliff. Now, like when we talk about financial investment, right, from women, and they're less likely to leave, the more money they spend, less likely to leave. Because the truth is, women love money more than men do, right? Men, we more about our time. Women are more about money. Men are more, we use money as a tool to get time, whether it's the time with the woman we want to be with, or the time to go somewhere or do something, or time just to be left alone to play video games. We use money to get time. Women just like freaking money. That's just their thing, you know? So I mean, they like to buy a lot of stuff, but women like money, so they like money more than we do. We like our time, just like when uh, I'm going a little on a tantrum, but just like when dudes want they don't get to see their kid every day, they want to be weekend dads, yeah. But if you give him the kid the whole time, like if a woman got 3 or 4 kids with a dude, and then make him, or you want to leave and give him the 4 kids while he got to go work, and then she just say I'm gonna pay child support. Men don't like doing stuff like that. That's why it's a red flag for men when they see a woman who has kids but she don't got her kids, especially if she's not a bad person and maybe she just want to give them to the kids. They know that, oh, if I get with her and she get pregnant, she gonna leave, and she leaves or we break up, she gonna leave me with the baby. And men can say what they want, but by and large, men like their time and they rather just pay the child support. So, and I can go on and on about that. I'm gonna try to just cut that short, go on and on about that. But men are about time, women are about money. Now, when I use Claire and Cliff, the big deal is I said, what did I talk about? Oh yeah, so they didn't put that in the show, but we know during the show when they talked about it, when after Cliff graduated college, he went to the Navy. He became a naval officer. He did his 4 years to get the GI Bill to go to med school. Well, Claire graduated later because she's a couple years younger than him, and when he went to med school, Claire was pregnant. No, she was pregnant with Denise and already had Sandra. Sandra might have been two. Now, if you know anything about the GI Bill, the current GI Bill now, when you go to college and you get a stipend because it's hard to work and go to school full time. So you get a stipend every month. But back then, especially in the 80s, they didn't give stipends. So you just got your education paid for. And you had to find money on your own. So more than it's like if you even look at historically, med students didn't work. Couldn't even like they tried. Some could if they really pushed it to get a part time job, but majority of them was not working. So in this scenario, if Claire and Cliff was in that same situation, Cliff might have worked part time, but most likely, but even so, Claire would have at least been working full time. And if she, at that point in time when he was not working and going to school, if she's doing most of the financial burden for those 4 years, before, because once he graduated, he got the residency. I think they do get a little stipend or a little stipend for the residency, but for them 4 years or beforehand, they out here struggling, and she's doing most of the financial lifting. That's financial investment. She's not gonna. There's not too many scenarios where once they get up there and build everything, that she's gonna let him go off and leave and go be with some other woman. Because she put a lot of financial investment. Even if it was just 4 years, she put a lot of financial investment, and she's not gonna let her investment just go about. It's like when you invest in the stock market. Maybe you put $1 in, but that dollar turned into $1 million. Hey, you put the right stock, you put the money in, but what you put in it was worth a lot at that time. Especially if that's all you had was $1. If you was at your last dollar and you was out there struggling, and now it became $1 million, that means a lot to you. So And I'm going on and on. I'm trying to get to where I'm trying to get to. So, first conversation I had was with the officers, right? And I'm not gonna talk about the first lieutenant. I'm gonna talk about the major. So she's on her. She's got divorced the second time, but she's an army major. She makes a lot of money, and I was explaining to her because she tried to say I was wrong because she divorced her husbands, both her husbands, right? I said yes, but in some of the stuff I didn't say in front of the first lieutenant, I kind of hit her up later when we talked on the phone because I didn't want to put all her business out there. But we were talking. I said yes, you're right. You divorced both your husbands, but guess what? The first husband makes over $500,000. Y'all. They both went together. I think to a HBCU, right? Together was an HBCU, and they built up. And then he kept going doing certain things to where he couldn't work, and she was taking care and doing blunt of the work to take care of them. And they had a son together. And I was like, because I think their son's like 15 or something like that. Had a son together. Now, when he started making over $500,000, which he makes more than that now, she divorced him because she felt like he had too much power in a relationship. Not because he did anything wrong. He wasn't trying to control her, but she felt like she didn't have any say so. And she wanted to prove a point. That's the truth. She wanted to prove a point. So she left him. Now, with that being said, she got with the second dude. Second dude, he wasn't making as much money even as her as she was making, but he was decent. And her and the first husband, even to this day, even back then, super close. Right? They've been knowing each other since college. Super close. Uh, and now she divorced the second dude. They're still super close, and he come down to visit the kid and all that. But anyway, he let her go like nothing. When she divorced the first husband, he let her go. They still cool. He said, "I'll pay my child support, come see my kid whenever, and keep it moving." She got the second dude. He wasn't making as much money as her, but what he did was, I think they got together in 2020 or something, or 2019, and then they got married. They had a kid. They got a daughter, and but 2 years into the relationship, I mean, to the marriage, not the relationship, but the marriage, he lost his job and hasn't found the one since, and sitting on her couch every day and just taking care of the baby. Now the baby is in school now, but she divorces him. Like I think the divorce just got finalized like maybe last year. She divorces him because she's like, yo, you ain't worked in 2 to 3 years. You just sit on the couch. And she's used to her first husband who's out there grinding. Now she got a dude that's not grinding. You know, and she didn't put no financial investment in him at all, right? They supposed to just be partners. The first husband, she actually like helped build him up to what he became, which is kind of why they're still close. Which I'm gonna get to that. So she drops him, but he holds on to her. He's like, I want the car, I want the house. Like her first husband, he just let her go. He gave her whatever she wanted. The second dude, he a broke dude, so she got to pay. Like she got to pay alimony, and she had to let him have custody of the kid. And I think he got the house, so she had to get a new house. So basically, he taking care of her lifestyle. She taking care of his lifestyle. But from what she told me, after he stopped working, after like 6 7 months of him not working, he stopped getting the box anyway. She was giving him no box, and she didn't want to be with him no more. Which to me, I thought it was weird because it's like, yo, you make so much money and you get child support from, I mean, got a lot of child support from your first husband. He don't really need to work because they weren't financially struggling. They had no financial problems. But her issue was she didn't like him sitting on the couch because her job ain't that hard. She do admin work. She just on the computer all day. She's not working hard. She ain't physically working hard, and she about to retire soon because she's losing her eyesight, so she's about to retire soon. So it's not that big a deal. But for whatever reason, she said dropped him. Now the first husband is still in them guts. Like he get and I took that. I didn't say it in front of the other girl, but I was like, look, the reason why he could come when y'all still cool and he come back and you break up with the dude and now he's still in the guts because you never let him go. You divorced him on paper, but y'all still kicking it. You know why? Because you helped build him, so you ain't going nowhere. And he may not remarry you again, nothing like that, especially because you had another kid with another dude. But you ain't go nowhere. You tried to prove a point. It didn't work out the way you thought it was gonna do, and now you gotta settle for whenever he's in town. That's what you got, you know. And maybe you can finesse and try because the dude, her first husband, he dates chicks, but I don't think he take him seriously or not. And he don't got no more kids. But I don't see why, logically, from my perspective, I mean, he could do it, but I don't see why he would get back with her, especially since he's already like whenever he's in town, he hit it anyway. So I don't really see why he would get back with her, especially since she just left. But whenever she need money or need something like that, he gives it to her. Additional to the child support and all that. So and whatever he need, even when she was still married to the dude, whatever she needs, Like if he needs something, or I think he was stranded somewhere and he couldn't get his credit cards or something was wrong, and he hit her up and she sent him like money, like some stacks to his account real quick. And I don't understand the whole money. So he's always been able to get anything out of her anyway. So it really wasn't that big a deal. So even though they're legally not married, they basically still married. And like she's laughed it off because she knew I was right. Anyway, then I was talking to these. The second conversation I had was with these guys when I went to lunch, and we were talking about it. And they said, "Man, women leave." Blah blah blah. I said, "So this is the thing, right? Talking to them, because I kind of blew their mind a little bit. So I had a friend. I'm from Jersey, right? So and Philadelphia is right there. Had a friend who his uncle was a pimp. So he used to have girls on like streetwalkers in Philly. So he used to tell us like, look, women always pay for the man they like. They'll take money from the dude they don't like and give it to the man they like, the dude that's sitting on the couch. Even if you watch something like Baby Boy, where Jody ain't had no job, but he was with Yvette, and Yvette was the one with the job. Yet he was out here driving her car, doing all that stuff, so she making all this money to take care of him, cause she like him. So, and she wasn't willing to give up all that money she been spending on him. She even when he was cheating, she wasn't ready to give him up, right? Because people think, oh, the stroke game. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes that got stroke game. It's also the fact that she spent a lot of money on this dude. So we were talking about that, and I went into the fact that more often than not, the more money a woman spends, the less likely she's ready to leave. Even if she take money from another dude, she's still less likely to leave. And I used what did I use for that example? Oh, I used my cousin. So my cousin, right? He's been married to his wife for he's a registered nurse. He's an RN. He's been married to his wife since about 2011, maybe 2011. So I was 21. He was 29 at the time. His wife was 31. She was ready to settle down and have kids, but she was a baller. Still is a baller. She works for the Department of Energy right now, but before I forget where she worked before, but she was living in Maryland. So when he went to go work in Maryland as a nurse, she was working out there and she had a house and everything. So they got married. When they got married, right? Because he grew up with me too, with my friend who um uh uncle was a pimp. So we know the game because we understand things. The more money woman spends on you, the less likely. That means the more financial investment she put into you, the more she likes you, and the less likely she's gonna leave. So I think he had like 70 something grand of student loan debt. So he married the girl, his wife now, back in 2011, and that's when he was like, "Look, sell your house. We're gonna move to Seattle, get a new house. You give me 80 grand from selling the house, and I'm gonna pay off my student loans." So they did that. Because at that time, I mean, you can't ask a woman to give you 80 grand or sell her house when y'all not married. But when you marry, you can do that. And that's the ultimate test. Because if she says no, then that's not your girl. That's not your wife. But she said yeah. So I mean, they sold the house. She gave him the 80 grand or whatever it was, and he paid off the student loans. Now he had the money, at least more than half of the money for the student loans. He didn't really need it. He could have paid that stuff off in no time. But that wasn't the point. The point was she gonna give him the money? Because if she gives him the money, she's not going anywhere. She gave him 80 grand. What woman you know is gonna give a man $80,000 and then leave him? It's not never gonna happen. So that gave him the security. That doesn't mean be an asshole or anything like that. But that gave him the security to know, oh, she ain't going nowhere. I don't gotta be a jerk about it, but she's here to stay. So they moved to Seattle. I think she works for the Department of Energy and she was doing something else. But they're good. They got a house. They got a couple of kids. They got 3 kids, and they're doing well. I think he just finished his. He's a nurse practitioner now, if I'm not mistaken. So he got his master's and all that. And I think he's specialized too. I'm not sure. Anyway, the point is because he knew the game. That's something I learned really young too. Like I said, my friend's uncle was a pimp. The more money the woman spends, the better it is for you. Now, what is it? So we were talking about that, and I probably used the other examples, but I just want to use that one because I'm trying to get through this. But basically, yeah, and me and my cousin talked about it too. He knew that once she gave him the money, that's also basically saying you better not go nowhere because a woman that gives you 80 grand, trust me, over her dead body, you're gonna leave her for another woman. She's gonna take you out. She's gonna take you out. I don't care what you. And if you think it's not true, okay. Now, so a third conversation I'm having, because I mean we went way deep in all three of those conversations, but I'm not gonna do that to you guys because y'all wasn't there, and it ain't gonna be fun to listen to a whole bunch of stuff that you're not gonna understand the context. So Then we move on to my wife. I'm talking to her. We eating dinner yesterday, and she was like, "I don't agree." I said, I used her as an example. I said, "I made you invest." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, let's go from the beginning. First date. Who paid on the first date? On the first date, none of us paid. I mean, we went Dutch. Uh, I just offered it because, be honest with you, at the time, how I usually do it is first date I pay, second date the girl pay, and every other date like, we just switch off every time, so I make the girl invest. Which is why I got girls to this day, like girls that I know, like will still hit me up. I'm not gonna go hit me up. Still cool, just checking on me in the family, see how y'all doing. Really, they want to see if they can get on a team again or something like that. But for the most part, my wife, we went Dutch on the first date because I wasn't really sure about her. Like, I liked her a lot. I wanted to be with her, but I wasn't sure if she liked me. And then when she was okay with doing a second date, I'm like, okay. And then, which usually, like I said, most of the time I usually pay for the first one. She paid for the second one, but she was a little reserved or something the first date. Well, really, she got mad at me. She said I was looking at some girl, which I wasn't looking at this girl. That's why I told her let's go Dutch. That's what I almost forgot. Yeah. So she got mad at me over me looking at a waitress that I wasn't looking at. I was really staring into space. I didn't even see the girl, even though to this day she doesn't believe me. She had an attitude, so I said, "All right, we going Dutch." That's how we got to the Dutch thing, cause she got mad at me over looking at a female that I really wasn't looking at. Like none of y'all even know me. Y'all listening to me right now. I'm telling you, I was not looking at that girl. Anyway, but she got mad at me, so I was like, "Here we going Dutch." I almost forgot that part. I didn't even bring that up yesterday. I should have brought it up. Nah, I wouldn't want to bring it up with her, cause then she'd get attitude. Anyway, the point is that the second date I paid, the third date she paid, the fourth date I paid. Like that's how it went. That's how it goes. I've never in my entire life, even when I was broke, like what I learned is that when I was broke and homeless and all that stuff when I was younger, I always had a nice physique. I always was handsome. I'm not gonna call myself handsome. Women call me handsome. Say stuff to me like you make some pretty babies or whatever. That's how chicks give you compliments or whatever. So even when I didn't have nothing, I could always get women. Like since I was 14 years old, I was getting box. So and like my friend's uncle used to say, look, if you want a box, if that's all you care about when it comes to a woman, you might as well just go pay for it. But if you want to be with the girl, she gonna have to invest in you. So, and I learned that when I was, like I said, a young boy. So, and it's true to this day. If all you care about is box, if you scared to tell this girl to pay for the second or third date or whatever, that means you just want the box. You don't really want the girl. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to get to know her because if she really wants to get to know you, if you want to get to know her, you want to know that she wants to get to know you. And if she wants to get to know you, she's going to invest in getting to know you just like you're investing in getting to know her. So, again, I was going at my wife because I beat her with this too. Beat her with a lot of examples, but I beat her with this. I said, so the first date, we went Dutch and I didn't tell her this part, but, and I think she forgot too, or she didn't want to bring it up. But it was because, she got mad at me. But the second date I paid, third date she paid, and we went back and forth. And anytime we did stuff, or we pay for each other, or we buy stuff for each other, and she buy me gifts. Gifts. My birthday come around, she buy me a gift. Her birthday come around, I buy her a gift. Valentine's Day, I buy her a gift. She buy me a gift. Every holiday, every scenario, every special event that happened, anniversaries, I'm buying gifts, she's buying gifts. If she didn't know what I want, even girls I used to know back in the past, they didn't know what I like, I would have a gift registry. Because you're going to spend money. Because for the most part, when you spend, if a girl spends $100 on you for a gift, you're going to have to spend twice or four times as much. So if she spends 100, you're going to spend 2 to 400. If she spends 1,000, you're going to spend 2,000 to 4,000. That's just how it goes. But they're still investing, right? Women care about their money more than we do, you know. Um, so with that being said, right? So that's how our relationship went, and it's always been that way. She spent money, I spent money. We always spent money on each other. But and the big thing about that is like when we talk about divorces, right? There's a lot of I didn't plan it, so my mind is spinning around right now. But there's a lot of times dudes get mad when a woman divorces you, she take half of everything, but she didn't put no money in. Let me tell you, I know a couple people that got divorced. I know way more people that didn't get divorced and stay together, but there's some people that still get divorced. It happens. But the ones that get divorced that are the maddest is the ones that they girl didn't put no money in, and they got to give her half of everything or more than half of everything. Let me tell you, if a woman put in, if your wife invested in the relationship $500,000, and you invested $500,000, and that together makes 1 million, and then by the end of your relationship, y'all got 10 million together. If she takes 5 million and you take 5 million, you are not gonna be mad at her like that. You'll be upset, a little bit, but it's not as bad now. Are you gonna let her take 1 cent more than what she deserved? Heck no. But imagine you had $1 million and she didn't give you no money. You just had 1 million, and then by the time your relationship ends, you got 10 million and she still want 5 million. You're like, well, you didn't put in nothing. You didn't put in half what I had before I started it. So why should you get half? That's a totally different scenario. It's a different scenario for a woman to give you $500,000, and you put your $500,000 to make 1 million, and then that turns into 10 million. So you're gonna be like, okay, I'll give you 5 million. Versus she puts in no money, and then you get what's that called? And you go from you already had the $1 million, and then you make 10 million. Then she wants half. Totally different thing. And for people, and I don't know if any women are gonna listen to this, and maybe some men will listen to, because I'm right. That's just what it is. Totally different scenario, right? If a woman putting in money, you're gonna whatever percentage she put in, that's the percentage you're gonna give her, and you're not gonna be stressed about it. But when she ain't putting no financial effort, this is why I don't understand why dudes want broke chicks. Like, I've never in my entire life dated a chick either had just as much or more money than me. My wife actually has way more money than me. Now, if you're talking about salary, I make more money than her salary. I make twice, almost way more than twice than what she makes salary. She's a six-figure earner. But she comes from money. She has a trust fund. Her trust fund, how much it pays her every month, is more than her check and my check, like our jobs from our jobs put together. It's more than that. She don't even gotta work. She just wants to work. So, with that being said, because that's how she is, and she's a pretty chick, she could have had any dude. She picked me. Don't ask me why, but she did. Um, but yeah, so it matters. I don't understand dudes getting broke chicks. See, dudes want broke women because they feel like they can control them. You know what controls a woman? I don't really believe you control anybody, but you know what keeps a woman in her mind, right? When she gotta spend money, all that money she spent on you, she not trying to throw it down the drain because she's out here cheating and getting caught cheating. Because especially since, if y'all know anything about men nowadays, men are out here sensitive. Like, chicks are getting caught cheating because dudes is snitching. Dudes is catching feelings and snitching on a girl. That's what's happening. Dudes is catching feelings. Chick got a husband already or got a dude already, and he like, well, I'm a snitch, or find a way to get him the information to, you know, dudes is on that kind of stuff, or trying to blackmail, whatever the case may be. So, chick risking all that after she put a lot of money and effort and time into you. And I kept going on with my wife, and she was like, damn, I can't even admit it, because that's what she did. She bought me gifts, I bought her gifts. Like, she spent, I like, and I start at certain points, I keep receipts too, like actual receipts. And we got like little books of receipts because we do taxes and all that. And I'm like, think about how much money you spend on me just every year, just on a gift alone, just on, like if it's my birthday. If it's my birthday, I don't spend no money. That's another thing too. When it is like your birthday, if you got all the money and she doesn't work, she has no money, and say she does spend money on you and take you out, that's your money she's spending to take you out because she has no money. So basically you're paying for your own event. It feels way better when a woman is paying out of her own pocket, out of her own accounts, than for you to be paying and you supposed to enjoy. How you gonna enjoy it when she's paying with your money? It makes no sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to you. And I'm trying to jumping around here, just trying to, just throw some things at you. You can think about it. Think about it yourself. Figure it out. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. Depends on how you feel. I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I'm saying I'm mostly right. That the more money women spend on you, put it like this, it worked for me. I'm 5'5". Women like 6 foot dudes. That's apparently 6'6", right? I'm 5'5". Yet my wife's a baddie. Dudes be on. I mean, I used to have on this channel pictures of her and me, but like it got way more. I didn't think the channel was gonna get popular. It's not that popular, but I got enough views and enough subscribers where I was like, I'm just take her down. Cause I don't need everybody all in our business like that, you know. But yes, she's a pretty chick. For those who was on this channel for a long time, y'all seeing her face, y'all commented that she cute. I mean, I does it like that. I've been doing it like that forever, and I got her when I was all right. I wasn't balling, I wasn't broke, but I was regular. So what I'm saying is, the more money women spend on you, the less likely they are to leave, right? And then you gotta think about this too. When you do get married, y'all become a business. Y'all become one. So if her money is used to pay for stuff, and your money is used to pay for stuff, and she's buying you things, she's doing all this stuff there, she's paying bills, you paying bills. Like if she can do it on her own, this is what I'm talking about the army major. I like it was easy for you to leave the second husband because he wasn't paying nothing. And you didn't build him up to nothing. You got him when he was already doing whatever he was doing. The first husband, even though you divorced him, you still contact with him, you still deal with him, and you're still sleeping with him because you built him. Like he was doing his own thing, but you helped. When he didn't have the money, you helped put money in his pocket and do different things. So you're not gonna ever let him go. I don't care. You're not letting him go. He ain't going nowhere. I mean, that's basically your man to this day because you know, you built him versus the other dude where you just let go. And I told him simply like, you helped. Like when I was doing my master's degree, I wasn't working. It's 2 years I wasn't working. There's been times I didn't work because whatever may happen. Maybe I lose a job and it's hard to find a job, especially as a programmer. Depending on the company and what you're trying to do, it might take 6 months or so. But I remember a time I wasn't working for 2 years because I was doing my master's degree. Who was paying all the bills? Baby girl. My wifey was paying all the bills, paying everything. Freaking $2,300 mortgage or something like that. $2,300 mortgage, all the bills we got kids and all that stuff. She's paying everything. I wasn't paying nothing. Because eventually, if you don't you got savings, yeah, but then savings can run out. So with that being said, and actually, my wife got enough money where she don't need me. But this is the difference because, like I said, the army major, the second dude didn't need her. The first dude did need her when they were building because her career sparked up quicker than his at first. But she helped him when he didn't have it to get it. So she spent money on him, a lot of money on him, and on a kid. So she invested a lot into him. So when he became successful, she feel like she still are owed something. So she ain't never gonna let him go. Vice versa with my wife. I told her, like, think about it. When things wasn't going good, if something happened with my career, yeah, I make a lot more money than you now. But when I wasn't, you was putting a lot of money into me. So even if you go get another dude, if he's already built, it's quicker for you to leave him than leave me because you helped build me in a sense, right? Like everything I did with academically, everything I did, jobs and all that, I had to go out and put that work in. But when I wasn't actually financially helping out for whatever reason, whether I was in school or there's something happened, she was taking that blunt on her own. So she invested in the relationship, not just me, the relationship to keep things flowing, you know. She did that. So to have me leave me and go get with another woman after now I'm all successful and now I'm gonna give all my success to another chick, she's not having that. She's not going nowhere. That doesn't mean that gives me right to treat her bad. I'm not, and I don't treat her bad. But that means I'm a little bit more comfortable to say that she ain't going nowhere. It can always happen. Women can always leave, but it's less likely. That's what I want to say. It's less likely that she's gonna leave because she put more finance. And men usually stay. Statistically, men usually stay. If you look at a lot of times when you watch these channels and you see videos come up, a lot of times chick leaving dudes, but they leaving a dude they didn't really financially invest in anything. Especially if you're going 50-50 isn't a bad deal. Like I think me and wife kind of go 50-50 in a sense. But we spend a lot of money on each other, you know? So, and even if, at times I take all the bills or she take all the bills or whatever the case may be, in general, we spend a lot of money on it. Yeah, time is one thing, but that finance, when you invest money into something, like when people want you to give them like I understand like people want you to give them free advice when you're successful, which I don't mind sometimes, but the reason why people make you pay for it is because they had to go through the growing pains and that knowledge that they have is worth something. If they just give it away, it's not worth anything. And half the time people don't even follow your advice unless they paid for it, right? If people paid to get something out of you, like some information out of you, they want that information because they're going to use it. But if you just give it to them freely, they're not going to use it. Like right now, I'm talking this stuff right now. It's free. Most of the men that's listening to me ain't going to use it. They'll let a dude that's my size, 5'5", living the life I live, right? Got the woman I got. And they'll tell me I'm wrong. Because some dudes really think you can get your money up and use it to control a chick. It's not going to do it because she can take your money and give it to the dude she really like. I'm telling you, that's what chicks do. They take your bread and give it to the dude they really like. I told you, I used to be broke. Especially when I was in undergrad, I was broke. Just before I met my wife, I was broke. I ain't had no paper. And chicks, and I would have like sometimes I had new clothes or I had something going on. A chick would give me some paper. I don't know where she got the paper from. I don't know what dude gave it to her, but she would give it to me. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not even 6 foot. I'm only 5'5". I keep putting that out there. I'm a little dude, and I have pretty chicks. You know what I'm saying? People call me shallow for a reason, cause they always see me with a pretty girl. So for whatever reason, I had a physique because I was an athlete. But that's the point. The point is, that's what I'm trying to say is, if somebody my size is moving like that, and that doesn't mean be a jerk. That just means if you spending money on a date, she should spend money on the next date. If you buy her a gift for her birthday, she should buy you a gift for your birthday. If it's Valentine's Day and you getting her flowers, candies, and gifts, she should at least get you a gift. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what I'm saying. Even if it was just $100 gift card, I don't care. She should be spending ends on you. If you, like dudes say, I don't like birthday gifts, I don't like Christmas gifts. You don't like gifts because chicks don't know how to give good gifts sometimes, or they just don't want to give you a gift. But if you have a registry, like, look, if you want to give me a gift, this is what I would do to a female, even to this day. If I was dating her and she didn't give me, and my birthday came up first, and she didn't give me a gift, I'm gonna give her a gift on her birthday. Actually, I probably won't be with her no more. But uh, if her birthday came up first and I bought her a gift, and then my birthday or something came up and she didn't buy me anything, I wouldn't be with the girl no more. But it wouldn't even take that long because, if, like I said, first date, second date, like if she wasn't putting out no money, it's not happening, right? The point is, if you sum everything up, and I can go 1,000, I can throw a lot of details in. I don't have, I'm really just speaking the mind from the brain. I don't have anything written down. So, but if you think about it yourself, do some research. Most of the time, men are always talking about getting your money up, but they want to use it to control a woman. I was taught at a very young age you can't control nobody. Women and men control themselves. But when you put in money into something, you know what I'm saying? Especially women. So I said they like money more than we do. When you're putting money into something, you want to see it succeed. So if women are spending money, a lot of their money and ends into building a relationship. That's why I say get married young, because when you're young, every money matters more because you don't have as much of it, right? When you get older, you're expected to already be built, her and you, kind of. But when you're young, in your early 20s, y'all building up. When she's putting money into a relationship, you put money into a relationship. She's putting money, that helps. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you right now, if you were a woman and she's throwing money into a relationship, you throw money into a relationship, you become a lawyer or a doctor, or you become successful, she's not gonna walk away quickly because she said, "Man, when we was out here struggling eating ramen noodle, I was putting everything I had into every bill, into everything. Like we was going 50 on everything, which that's a lot when you ain't got no money, right? And now she ain't trying to go nowhere. But the same thing with you. If you was putting money in like that, and she, like, say she wrote a book or something, or maybe she got a great career, and money went up, you know, and you're not gonna want to let her go. And if y'all both are successful, y'all's putting all that money into each other. Y'all both getting money. Y'all both in the 300,000 range, $500,000 range for salaries or whatever the case may be, or even just $100,000. Because it's another thing. If you just making 100,000 and she making 100,000, and y'all been together for a long time, you think she's just gonna walk? You know how hard it is to find a dude to just make 100,000? Just that makes 100,000. People makes it seem like six figures is easy. Just making 100,000, you know how hard that is for most people. I remember the first time I hit 100,000, it was hard for me. I couldn't believe it, And then I started, making different moves, but I had to do a lot of what the heck is it called, networking to get to that point, right? I'm a talker. You hear me talking right now? I'm a talker. I kind of, but I usually plan things when I go to network with people. This is not planned, so I'm a little bit more crisp. But yeah, it's hard to find a woman or a man that makes $100,000 a year. So women ain't just giving up $100,000 men. I know they say it online, like, no. Tell you right now, even if she's making $100,000 and you making $100,000, she's not gonna give you up hoping to get a dude that's making 2, 3. Cause unless she already met him already and thinks she can really get him, she's not doing that because it's hard to find just a dude to make $100,000 a year, even if she's making $100,000 a year. And actually, she has, and this is another thing that happened. The worst thing that she could do is drop you and you go and you start hitting and get a dude that's making $200,000 a year, and then you start making $500,000 a year, because now she really gonna be mad, especially if he hit his plateau if he's not going to go higher. So it's a whole bunch of stuff in the dynamic, and I can go on and on and on and on and on. I didn't pull up no data to read off or anything like that. You have to do your own research, but more likely, more often when it comes to marriages, women are more likely to leave. Everybody knows this. I'm not making it up. You can look at women are more likely to leave, and most the marriages happen with divorce because of finances. It's like my friend, the army major. She's leaving her second husband over finances. First husband she left because she was trying to prove a point that she didn't prove. That's why she's still sleeping with him. But the second husband she left because finances. And even though the finances was good, he wasn't bringing in no finances, and she didn't want to take care of a grown man. That's basically what happened. Especially since she didn't have any connection with him because she didn't build him. She didn't help him get where he's at. So it didn't really matter to her. He was just collateral damage. Even though she got to pay him alimony now. But besides that, so basically it just cost her money. But for the most part, women ain't leaving men. And those are a few examples. Those are that I gave y'all. Majority of everything I've ever seen, like 90, I would say 87, 88% of the time, women are not leaving men that they put money into. And actually, before I go, I'm going to use one other example with the Cosby Show. Sandra and Elvin. I didn't put their picture up here, but let me throw it in here. Sandra and Elvin. Sandra, parents paid for Elvin's education, not his undergrad. He got like I think a resident scholarship, and then he got a academic scholarship. But for him to go to med school, he didn't have money to go. Who paid for that? Claire and Clint. So she bought in on him, had his babies, and let her parents know it is okay to help finance his education because he ain't going nowhere. So even though it didn't come out of her pocket, it came out of her family's pocket that invested into Elvin. So she ain't letting Elvin go nowhere. Not only did she have his babies, her family financed his whole medical education. Do you think she's gonna let Elvin go somewhere? She would take him out before she let him go because he's a what? He became an ER emergency doctor, so ER surgeon. Was it ER? What is it called? Yes, ER doctor, emergency medicine doctor. You think she gonna let him get that paper up like that? He's an ER surgeon. He's a freaking surgeon. And you think she gonna let him go after her parents pay his education to be a surgeon, to go take his success and give it to another woman? She'd take him out first. She would take that man out before that. That's the thing you gotta worry about, fellas. If your chick paying money like that into you, you might be on the news. You try to play her. I'm trying to help you. It's like my cousin said. I was like, yo, cousin, she gave you 80 grand. He like, yeah, I know. I try to play these games to her. She gonna be on the news. So think about that before you let women invest in you, because they will crash out and you will be on the news. And don't think because she's whatever that she wouldn't do it. Every woman would do it. There's no woman that wouldn't do it if you playing with them like that. But with the show, Elvin went to med school because of her parents. So in essence, that came through her. So you think she's gonna let him go? No, just not. And vice versa for men. We put a lot of money into our families. Like a lot of times when women get divorced, it hurt when you spent a lot of finance on the house, the cars, getting the kids to school, clothes. Like you put a lot of money to make this situation work, and it don't work, and it hurts. But it's all the like people say all the time. I put it, yes, the time, but it's the money. People, I try to tell people, men are attached to their money. That's why it hurts for a chick to take half, especially if she didn't put no money into it, because your emotions is connected to your money. Men emotions are connected to their money. I actually told my cousins this a long time ago, because I got a lot of pretty cousins, and they were dating dudes, and they didn't really like them. Like, I was telling them, don't ever do that. Like they're good now, because I used to tell them, like, look, and this will help. I said, imagine a dude that's the most disgusting dude you ever seen before. Most disgusting man you ever seen. And he grips you up and takes advantage of you. And every stroke he does, imagine that's $1 that you took from a man that you didn't like. Because that's how men feel. Men feel when chicks taking their money or using their money for dates and whatever that don't like them, that you basically, that's in them. You're taking advantage of them. That's how men care about their money. So I told my cousin, that's young. This is what had to be 2004, 2005. We was young. I said, every time you think to use a man for his money that you don't even like, you don't really like him, you just dating to get a meal or something like that. Imagine the dude for every dollar. Imagine the dude stroking you that you don't want to be stroking you, that got you gripped up, pinned somewhere in the dark alley, stroking you. Imagine that, and that's how you feel. And actually, it's funny because they doing well. They end up, finding husbands. Because I keep it real. So that's how you gotta look at it. Men don't like wasting their money on women, but women certainly don't like wasting their money on men. And I think for both of us as a species, men and women, uh, nobody likes to invest in a relationship financially and it fall apart. But if you are just dangling money and spending all this money on a chick, because this is the thing. Oh, I'm gonna throw this in here. Didn't want to go this long. I'm gonna throw this in here. I've been to other countries. I've been to poor countries and I've been to underdeveloped, developing and developed countries. Right. Let me tell you, women will still spend money on you in developing countries if they like you. Dudes going to Colombia, spending because I think it's what for $1 it's like $5,000 over there. So dudes go to Colombia, spend all that money on them broads. Guess what? If they like you, they might spend. They take that. Guess what? They taking that money. They taking your money that you going over there doing tourism or whatever you call it. They taking the money that you giving them to go give it to the dude they really like and the family and what they really want going on. Some dudes getting the money that you giving them, giving it to some other dude, right? Whether it's their boyfriend, their pimp, or whatever. And I say that because, even when where was I? Australia. Australia is a developed country. It's a really dope country. But Australia, they don't got that many men over there. Like, I mean, most of the women got the jobs. I think they have a female president, or they did have a female president in Australia. Australia's a beautiful country. Australia, they got money, but the women got a lot of the jobs, got more than 50% of the jobs. And as an American or as any man that go to that country, just opening the door for an Australian, these women like 6'2" and all that, opening the door for them, they think you asking them out on a date. That's how bad it is. They don't got no men over there. So you open the door for them, they thinking, and if you're in the Navy, they know the ship pulling in. It's a bunch of white women or whatever that you ain't never seen before in your life, just standing next to the pier waiting for the sailors to come off. And not just white men, white men too, looking for the female sailors to come off the ship so they can get a piece, as of an American. So it's not just the men, the women got it too. And they'll take you and take care of you and all types of stuff. So I said to say that even in other countries, women will pay if they like you, let you come stay at their house. They'll feed you, of course, but they'll also spend some money on you. Not just you spend money on them. If that's what you're into, I've never been into farming like that, or anything like that. I just wasn't. That was I already had what I wanted. I was able to get in my own country. But I enjoy hanging out and I enjoy other countries. But what I'm saying is, yeah, you going over to other countries and doing what's that? What is it called? Passport bros. I mean, women that like you in any part of the world will spend money on you. They will. They'll take money from the goofy, and give it to the dude they like. Or buy you some. Oh, you tell a girl, oh, my birthday's you in town on my birthday tomorrow. She's like, oh, okay, and she'll go buy you something. It may not be look expensive to you, but it's expensive to her because of her country. Or actually, maybe you're in like a European country, like let's say Australia, or you're in like freaking Germany or something like that. It's expensive. Them women will buy you stuff just like what I'm saying. They're gift givers. So people that spend money on you value you most likely, especially when it's a woman. Women don't spend money on men that they don't like. They just don't. So the more money a woman spends on you, the more the less likely she's gonna leave. The more she's showing that she like you, and you don't have to agree with me. You can think I'm wrong. You can think you could dangle money for the women to get them to do what you want to do. No, they'll just take your money and give it to the dude they like. Because women, even the woman is struggling, she's not gonna struggle forever. People, men and women, we progress over time. We may not be having all the money we want and all the things we want in our 20s. Some of us do get it a lot quicker. Some of us don't. But we may not have everything, but we're moving towards it. And that's another thing. Dudes like, oh, why she cut me off? A lot of times you dudes, you're dangling money from a chick. She cut you off once she realizes she's where she want to be financially, that she don't need your money. That's another thing too. When you're spending all the money and you're dating a girl and she don't like you anyway, it's easy for her to cut you off when she get what a dude she do like. Cause the dude she do like, if he get his money right, you know what I'm saying? Now she can just be with him. And she don't need money from you. And if she got her own money anyway, she can just, kick it with him. So if you believe that throwing money away on women that don't like you is okay, or just trying to control women with money, it's never gonna work. You cannot control a woman with money. Even if she's desperate, she's not gonna always be desperate. Not always gonna be desperate. You talk, what's it? Corey Holcomb be doing stuff like that. Like he likes women that are basically desperate, you know. But obviously, they don't stay around forever because they're not always gonna be desperate, right? So like I said, if you want a woman that never leave you, you want a woman that always gonna be there for you. Is it possible for her to leave you? Yes. It's possible she can die or something like that. Cool. But if she's possible she can leave you, yes. But more often than not, if she invested money in you, she's not going anywhere. She's just not. And that's facts. Well, you know what? I'm gonna say it's a theory. It's a theory, cause I didn't write a dissertation or a paper, and even then it'd still be a theory. But it's a theory. Don't believe me. I've seen it work in my favor. That I make women pay. If I'm paying, you paying. I'll pay the first date, you pay the second date. Like I told you before. So for me, it has worked for my little short self. But for you, maybe that's not how you want to do things, and that's okay. But I believe, I would have to do a big long study on it. But I believe, from what I've seen, marriages have a better chance of surviving, especially if women are the ones leaving, when women um, are financially investing in the relationship and in the man. The man is already going to financially invest in the kids and the wife and all that stuff in the house, but she has to financially invest as well. And if she financially invests, if all she tell you is all I want to do is cook, clean, and be a housewife, you can do that. Go ahead and do that. I do it. Go ahead and let her be a housewife and sit around. You know what I'm saying? And then when she get bored, take your paper. Go ahead and do that. Now, it's one thing. Now, here's a caveat to that. If she was, if she's a housewife now, but when you was grinding, and you were following your dream, she was taking care of all the bills and everything, and then you finally your dream popped. This is a good example. So good example. Last one, the best example. So y'all know there used to be, people used to have a lot of limousine businesses, right? So what was it? This girl I know, she had inherited her dad's limousine business. It was when it was still popular. I think it was like she was older. She was probably 18 at the time. I was like 12. I don't know. Had to be like 2000, 2002, 2001, where the limousine business was still very, very profitable. But her husband at the time, she had just got married young, but her dad was done with the limo business and gave her the limo business because he was old, and that was his only child. Or he died. No, I think he died. No, he was sick. He was sick. He got cancer. He ended up surviving it, but he kept. It was just a long thing. Anyway, the point is, yeah, she sold the limo business and gave all that money, and it was very profitable. Gave all that money to her husband. Well, they weren't married yet. They were engaged for his business idea. Which, what the heck? No, I'm not even gonna put their business out there like that because I don't wanna. They get money anyway because they're still together to this day. This is like 2001, 2002, and she's a housewife. She don't do no work in that. But all that money from that business that she gave to him sparked his dream and what he wanted to do, and it blew up. It was a gamble. It was a gamble, but because she financially invested in him, everything she had, it blew up. She has the right to sit on her butt and do nothing. But guess what? Yeah, she a housewife. But is she gonna go somewhere even if she left and took half, right? Even if she divorced him and took half the money or half the company or something like that. She invested all the money. He didn't have no money. He had the idea. He had the plans. It was hard for him to get the loan, so he couldn't get a loan. She invested 100% of the finances for his business to take off. Do you think she want half the business? No. To take half and sell it, and then he go and do. No. She built that. She ain't going nowhere. She gonna sit her butt down and be a housewife, and he gonna take care of her, cause he and she ain't going nowhere. She ain't trying to divorce him. They had their little problems like most married couples do every once in a while. And girls, like, oh, he should divorce him. No, she's not going to divorce him because she built that company with her finance. Now, she ain't what he's into. She's not really good at that, from what I understand. She knows it, but because over time she's learned it. But yeah, she put her finances behind him, so now she ain't going nowhere. You know, I don't know if I hope he ain't cheating on her like that. I don't know if that's happening, but they, for the most part, from the outside looking in, they look good. I'm pretty sure they got marital issues like anyone else, but she ain't going nowhere. You know why? Because she is the one that put all the money into it. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. I'm just saying that was the last example I have. But finale, like I said, the more money women invest, the less likely they are to leave. And you don't gotta believe me. It's homework. Do it for yourself. Do it for yourself.